This happened back on February 12th, but students didn't learn about this until last night, more than 2 weeks after it happened, when the school posted a statement from campus police. It's called Laura and Reed's Law. Now, Laura was a beloved teacher in Howard County and excited about being pregnant, but because of the current law, the man that robbed her of motherhood could not be charged with double murder. Well, it all happened at the height of rush hour at this bus stop. A crowd of people here just waiting for the bus just before 5:30 this afternoon when the shots rang out. You can see the shattered glass there. Whether you went to the voting booth or sent in an absentee ballot, you probably got one of these, or one of these, or one of these, or these. David Stern's fiance put up this flyer outside of Dixie Liquor here on M Street, where Stern was last seen. Now, the 29-year-old spent less than 2 minutes inside the liquor store, and now his family is desperately trying to figure out what happened when he walked out this door.
How are the tires doing, Jaclyn, on the car?
I'm surprised they haven't fallen off at this point. I mean, if you drive BW Parkway, I think you know just how bad it is. Take a look at what we're seeing here on the road now. Tonight, LaSanti also said that she has accepted County Executive Angela Alsobrooks' invitation to visit Prince George's County. She also says she'll be reorganizing her office, which will include hiring someone that will do minority outreach in Harford County. But the pressure isn't letting up. Doorbell cameras just like this one are incredibly popular. They serve as a deterrent and offer an extra layer of security against break-ins and package thieves, but the man we talked to tonight never thought it would help solve a fatal hit and run. Having a safe haven for drug addicts will save countless lives. There is nothing like this in the U.S. right now, but many cities are considering similar measures.
Jaclyn, I see blue lights behind you. That is not good news.
Not good news at all for these morning commuters. Old Dominion Drive, that's where we are right now, and as you can see, it is still blocked off. The new app launched last Wednesday, and it's already been downloaded 25,000 times. The best part, it's completely free, and it can actually win in court. We're actually joined by the homeowner, John Kettle. He's here with us right now to tell us exactly what happened. I mean, now that you can see all of this in the daylight, what are you thinking?
I think I'm pretty lucky.
We have exactly 1,000 unanswered calls, so that's why they're here. They've been taking turns going down, coming back with more and more people. In fact, I talked to fire officials just a little while ago, and they said that they've rescued 2 little boys who had been left in their apartment to fend for themselves. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Temperatures remain low tonight after icy conditions this morning, but it looks like we could see some changes going into the weekend. Alan Strum is here with the very latest. Residents at one Northwest Florida mobile home park are living in deplorable conditions, but for them, it's nothing new. They've been living like this for almost a year now. Hannah McKenzie is live in Warrington with the very latest. We also know that Howard had a dark past. Howard spent 15 years in prison for raping 2 women. And today we talked to people who remember the case well. The historic summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un ended just 2 hours ago in Singapore. As the 2 leaders arrived and shook hands, they could be seen smiling. Some of the floats we're going to see this year are going to wow us just like they did last year. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And, you know, the thing that I like, you mentioned Catherine Daniel and her series on all these crews. It's just amazing to see, you know, all the good that they're doing in the community. Game 3 of the NBA Finals last night.
Yeah, we had a good time watching it here, didn't we?
It was a really good time, yeah.
And, of course, you've played a lot of basketball, so you're a big fan, right?
Oh, yeah, I love watching it.
Do you have a pick in this one?
I don't really have a dog in the hunt. No.
You don't? Okay.
No. I just enjoy a good game.
This program brings the help right to the student when they ask for it, and that student doesn't have to worry about someone finding out or even getting in trouble. The nurse's office has always been a safe place for students to get help. But when it comes to drug addiction, the answer isn't so simple.
Most of the students don't know where to go to get help, wouldn't even have a clue what help would look like.
But thanks to a new program in Anne Arundel County, students at Annapolis High School and every other high school in the county can now instantly video chat with a licensed professional, specifically trained to handle substance abuse and mental health issues. And it's completely confidential.
Your friends don't have to know, your teachers, anybody, just you and that specific expert / real therapist that knows what they're talking about.
It's called the STAR program, or Screening Teens to Access Recovery. As the name suggests, it includes a drug screening which helps the therapist develop a treatment plan. While students are more apt to use a service that's confidential and discreet, some would argue parents should know if their child has a drug abuse problem.
It's a first step. It's just opening the door. And I will say, you know, teenagers are you know, resistant often to seeking help because they're afraid.
School officials say this program knocks down barriers and is designed to help students get to a point where they can admit they need help to their loved ones.
It's definitely a delicate balance, right? And so I would say to parents that I want each of their children, whether they're working through mental health issues, substance abuse issues, struggling in their algebra class, whatever the issue that their child is dealing with, I want them to have a go-to person that can really help them out.
Now, the county health department partnered with local schools to launch this program just last week, and the high school here says within 2 days they already had a student using that program. It's still new and they're still trying to get the word out to students, but if this catches on, other local counties will likely adopt similar programs. Well, Jim, this is much different than one of those interlock devices that you would breathe into. This technology would be built right into your car like any other safety feature, and it's pretty simple. If you're over the legal limit, the car won't start. Drunk driving is still the #1 killer on U.S. roads. J.T. Griffin, the Chief Government Affairs Officer at Mothers Against Drunk Driving, says that's exactly why MADD wants this new technology out of the lab and into every car.
It would be integrated into the car, and so when the driver gets into the vehicle, you wouldn't even know the technology is in your car unless you're legally drunk, 0.08 or above. The
federally funded DADS research program in Virginia is testing 2 methods. The breath-based system uses a sensor above the steering wheel to detect alcohol on the driver's breath. And the touch-based system, which uses an infrared light to scan your finger to read the blood alcohol content.
I didn't know at all. That's crazy. I'm not sure I want to pay for it. But I mean, if it becomes more affordable, of course. I mean, it saves lives.
I would pass.
For kids, you'd like it.
But for kids, I'm all in.
Others like the idea, but worry about whether the technology is really there.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm all for it. Now, the one thing they have to be careful of is if you use mouthwash, you're going to trigger it.
But Griffin says he's confident the technology works, but says it will take the auto industry's help.
I think the next step is we need to get this ready to go into fleets. We need to put it into a large number of vehicles and then test it and then get it ready to be commercialized.
Now, the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety says this technology could save 7,000 lives a year. That's more than half of the yearly drunk driving fatalities that we see each and every year. And advocates say that they're just hoping that lawmakers and automakers make this a standard safety option, not a mandate. They made that pretty clear. Sarah? Whether you went to the voting booth or sent in an absentee ballot, you probably got one of these, or one of these, or one of these, or these. It's a patriotic badge of honor voters proudly display as they leave the polls.
It's a good sticker.
The I voted sticker may be small, but it's a powerful social symbol, especially during a highly charged election.
I like to let everyone know that I'm participating in an important civic duty, which is voting. It affects all of us, and if we don't do it, you don't get the right to complain about what happens, right?
I just did it for the kids, for me, to let them know that this is something that's important.
It's what you do as a member of this culture, is you show up and you vote.
According to an article by Northeastern University about the social psychology behind the I voted sticker, research shows people who publicly commit to doing something are far more likely to do it. Psychology professor Judith Hall goes on to say the sticker serves several peer pressure functions, reminding people to vote or making them feel guilty if they don't, which is why you see people get so upset when there's a sticker shortage.
I'm sometimes the person inflicting that pain. I had to call Comcast today, and while I was waiting for her to solve something, I was like, well, while I'm waiting, did you vote?
Stickers can vary from state to state or county to county. In Falls Church, Culpeper County, and even Alexandria, voters received custom sticker designs. Matthew Stinsrud, who chairs the Alexandria Commission of the Arts, says this is the first year they've ever had a custom sticker or a future voter sticker. He says they held a contest for local artists and then let the public vote on the final design.
We all see that people show pride through their I voted stickers, whether we see it on social media or in person, and this adds a uniquely Alexandrian touch to it. So people can show pride both in the civic process and also in the great city that we live. as well as remind ourselves each and every day the impact that the arts makes on our lives.
The power of the I Voted sticker reaches even further with social media. In many ways, platforms like Facebook and Instagram are becoming the I Voted sticker of the 21st century, where people can boast about voting and encourage others to vote by flaunting that participation prize. This is a dangerous guy we're talking about. It was the first nice day we've had, so there were a lot of people out here walking and jogging and eating dinner when this attack happened here on this corner. That's terrifying for the people who live here, and that's why police are beefing up their presence here in the neighborhood.
She could have been me. I'm 35. I run every day. This is actually part of my safe route at night.
People who live in the Shaw neighborhood would call this a safe street. But that calm was shattered last night when 35-year-old Wendy Martinez stumbled into a restaurant covered in blood. Police say she was running west on P Street when she was stabbed multiple times at the corner of P and 11th Streets, just outside this restaurant. The cameras inside capturing the chaos and the fear.
There was some confusion because there were people who fled from the scene out of fear, but we believe it was a single assailant that was involved in this.
Outside, video captured her attacker calmly walking away as he fled south down 11th Street with what the chief described as a very distinct gait.
It was very disturbing. You have a young woman out here exercising in a neighborhood, a very, very safe neighborhood. You have a lot of people out here. People were enjoying dinner across the street. And to have something like that happen, like I said, it's unsettling.
Police say her attacker was wearing a mustard-colored long-sleeve shirt, dark rolled-up sweatpants, white socks, and light-colored sandals. Once on the scene, police say they found a knife nearby, believed to be the murder weapon.
We do not have a motive, but like I said, more likely than not, it was a stranger to the victim.
It's a terrifying thought for avid runners in the neighborhood like Jessica Dillman.
It's just scary because women aren't safe. And I don't know when it's going to end and I don't know what it's going to take, but it's scary. It's scary for all of us.
Certainly is scary. If anyone saw a man last night matching the description police gave, police certainly want to hear from you. Investigators say they need help identifying her attacker. They're now offering a $25,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest.